For many years, I was ashamed of my story. I was ashamed to say I'm an addict because I've been told as a child to do not tell anybody, do not say anything.
The best formula to feel pain is always resist what's coming. Resist the truth. Fighting against the truth.
Welcome to Out of Our Comfort Zone. Hosted by a high-performance athlete and Guinness World Record holder, this is a podcast where we share actionable strategies, inspiring stories, and expert insights to turn adversity into high potential for ambitious leaders, CEOs, HROs, and athletes seeking to excel in high-pressure environments. Here's your host, Deniz Kayadelen.
Hello, welcome to the Out of Comfort Zone podcast today. I'm Deniz Kayadelen, and in this space, we explore how courage, resilience, and stepping out of comfort zone is unlocking our potential. And today I have a special guest, my dearest friend, Katarina Giger. And Katarina's journey is about a real transformation. It's about how to turn fear into strength, how to turn even addiction into self-mastery, and how to turn traumata into exploring yourself on a different angle and find your inner strength. So that's why this podcast is so special for me today, because we will go deeper and deeper, not just stay on the superficial level. And no matter if you're a high potential leader, a high performer, an athlete, I think we will have really valuable lessons from this open, real talk today. Welcome, Katarina.
Thank you so much, Denise. So happy to be here and so happy to take this space to share a little bit of my story with you. Thank you.
And Katarina, we did also some out of bootcamp sessions together. So you joined me with cold water baths and then expanded our bootcamp with cacao ceremonies, breath work. Yeah, so people maybe who don't know you, you can introduce yourself. But more than that as well, as a second, I would like to then start with the origin story. So what made you come there? Because I know you since like 2 years. And when I saw you 2 years ago, you started slowly with ice bathing, slowly with this breath work. And now when I see compared to 2 years ago and now, you have a massive transformation. And when I met you, you said, yeah, a few months ago, I drank alcohol every day, every night. I couldn't have one day without drinking alcohol. And I was like, oh, really? You are now looking completely different. You have a completely different lifestyle. I even didn't believe in you. And I think this story is so powerful and gives us all an inspiration how to turn really pain then into the self-mastery. And maybe we can go a little bit more deeper about this pain topic, because everyone struggles with some pain. Not everyone who has traumata is maybe then addicted at the end, but everyone who's addicted has some traumatas, and not everyone is speaking about that openly. And the past months, you are speaking about that openly. You are open your heart, and it's so powerful. The more you show vulnerability, the more you show your inner strengths. And so many people can relate on many things what you will say now. I'm stopping and giving you the space to introduce yourself.
Thank you so much, Denise. It was beautiful to join your bootcamp as well with my cacao ceremony and also with some songs and bring this little bit of light into your light. And I think today, as I will be sharing my story, we will come at the end to the point how all these tools in my toolbox not only helped me to heal, but now helps other people to heal as well. So that will be that. Thank you so much for this space and time. And let's start at the beginning. And you are very right that often people and myself, for a very long time, for many years, I was ashamed of my story. I was ashamed to say I'm an addict. I was ashamed to share a story from my family, how I grown up, because I've been told all these years as a child to do not tell anybody, do not say anything. Quite the opposite. It was like, keep everything quiet. You know, if something traumatic happened, then you go to school next day with a smile on your face, pretending that the life is great, the family is great. So let me start at the beginning. I think around the time I was 5 years old, and that was a Sunday. I remember till then, I thought my family was pretty much normal. It was family of 4 children, 3 brothers. I was the youngest one. I felt truly loved by my family and very wanted. Hardworking parents. We live in Tatra Mountains in Slovakia. And then on that one Sunday, I remember I was sitting in a living room and my mom came from somewhere and she was wearing a coat. And I said to my mom, "Why are you wearing a coat?" And my mom was like, "Don't worry, you'll be okay." And I got really scared because I knew something was not right. And I was like, "Mom, take your coat off." And she was like, "No, no, it's okay. Don't worry. You'll be okay. You'll be safe." And at that moment, my aunts rushed through the door and started screaming and yelling, "What happened? What happened?" And I did not understand what happened. And a few minutes after, then an ambulance came and my life changed in that moment completely because my mom at that time drank acetone. She tried to kill herself.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's Harry.
And
That's heavy.
and she not only was taken away, but I've been told to pack my bags, and I left with my aunts. And I think the words like an alcoholism, depression, mental health problems, family crisis, all these words entered my world and shattered my world. Till then, I felt I was surrounded by beauty and magic. And then it became very hard. It was to understand what was happening around me because I think till then I was very protected also by my family, by my parents.
Hmm.
But then there was no more protection, right? I could see it. I had to leave the house.
Yeah.
And my mom went through hospitalization, but consequently also through rehab in a mental health clinic, first of all, and then also in alcohol rehabilitation. And two more events, such as this one, took place in my life as a child. My mom tried to commit suicide two more times in different ways. And as I was the youngest one of four, I was there. I was growing up with it, around alcoholism from both parents. Not only that, but in society, alcohol was everywhere. And likewise, I grown up perceiving alcohol as being completely normal. You celebrate with drinks, you drink your sorrows with the drinks. You're sad, you drink. You welcome friends and family, you drink. You need a break, you drink. It's Sunday after church, you drink. And I grown up with thinking that alcohol is just part of the life and it's completely normal.
Yeah.
So yeah, only now, only past 2 years, like you said, since we know each other, since I came to some realizations, I started to realize that my story and my childhood, which I was not able to talk about before, has a meaning to me, and now it finds a meaning to other people because I can relate a lot to people coming from also from traumatic backgrounds.
Thank you for opening your heart. And I can imagine what kind of traumata it is. So suddenly you have a peaceful family life and you recognize that your mom tries to kill herself. And it's kind of overwhelming situation as a child. And then you are not just having this once, second, and third time. And alcohol is always in your life. And probably you also started then to drink alcohol in early stages of your life, right?
Yes, that's correct. Again, it was part, right? It was
Yeah.
all the celebrations going out at teenage years, going out for discos, and
Mm.
it was fun to drink because everybody was doing that, right? And it was all around. So it was not just my family, it was other families, the village, the town, everybody around, everything was celebrated. And I felt like also it was a gift from people. You know, you honored your guests. People came and you offered them, of course, alcohol as a sign of appreciation. And it was, I think, part of the culture, really, really big part of the culture.
And what do you think? What was the main pain for you then from this time till you decided then, okay, there is a pain and I need to change my life. So what was the turning point for you? What was the real feeling of pain and then the real turning point to say, okay, I need to change something in my life? Because from then also being addicted to alcohol to saying, okay, I will buy an ice bed, I will stop drinking, I will change my lifestyle. It's a big, massive transformation, right? It's a massive breakthrough. So what was the turning point for you?
That's a great question, Denise. I think it was not just one realization.
Mm,
Uh, this was growing on me over the time. And my biggest teacher and my biggest mirror is, and I think it will be my daughter.
mm,
While she was young, right? We all know children goes to sleep at 7, 8 o'clock in the evening. That was the time that I was looking forward to open my drink, open my bottle of wine, have the cocktail, glass of champagne, whatever it was available. The weekends heavier, during the week a little bit lighter, but nevertheless, it was something that I was keen and really looking forward to every evening. And as my daughter was growing older, turning 14, 15, she didn't go to bed, right, at 7 or 8 o'clock in the evening. And she started to question me, and
mm,
not in a bad way. She just mirrored what she saw. She was like, Mom, but at school we learned you should not drink that much, and you should not, is it good for you to drink 3, 4, 5 glasses of wine? And my first reaction, and we know all how the reactions are, it was anger. I was like, how dare you speak to me like this? I could never question my parents about if they were drinking or not.
mm,
And that started to, as she was getting older, our relationship started to get worse because I did not like what she was telling me. And she was telling me just what she saw. And there was a number, many, many, many days that I would be hangovered in bed till next day, till 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And she would come to me, she was starting to realize, and she would ask me, Mom, are you sick or are you having a hangover? And I realized, oh my goodness, I'm wasting so many hours. Is this what I was fighting for all these years, to now be in bed and not being able to like tend to my home, tend to my dogs, tend to my daughter? But I'm curing my hangover for a few hours of fun in the evening or some numbness,
yeah.
and spending another 20 hours being sick, right? And so she started to bring this light, these questions.
Mm. Your own
Also,
daughter
yeah,
challenged you day
yeah,
by day.
day by day, right? And she was only saying what she saw. Also, another thing was at that age, 15, she started to ask 16, could I have a drink too, Mom? And I was like very happy about it. I was like, please, here is the red wine and white wine. And there was that little voice inside me slowly coming up saying, what are you doing? Are you just normalizing something maybe that is not normal? Am I allowing something? Is the wheel going to turn around? I started to question myself.
Mm,
Does it matter? My choices, somehow choices of my parents?
yeah.
And that voice questioning that only grew louder and louder.
Mm. And then you question, of course, your own motherhood and then your own mother, what is normal, what is not normal, how you want to grow up and how you want to educate your child, right? And while she's questioning you and your behavior and the alcohol and everything.
There was always point in my life
Yeah.
I thought I wished I was stronger to speak up when I was a child. I couldn't. I
Mm.
couldn't. I couldn't face my parents. I couldn't face those topics. But now I started to realize, maybe I could have not helped then, but definitely needing to find my voice now and to ask those questions. Do I want to be a mother like this? Do I want to provide this surrounding for my daughter and for my family, or do I want to change something?
And at this time, you said everything felt so normal. if you would speak up, what would be your speak up topic? What would you say to them with your
Back to
wisdom today?
back in my family, you mean?
Yes.
For example, I saw my mom hiding alcohol
Mm,
and drinking secretly, and
mm,
I see it in so many different places in so many different ways. And I was so scared. I was so scared to ask her about it, and I wish I would go
mm.
early on. I mean, not when things were already too bad, but then go, and pull her and say, "Mom, but hey, let's not do that. Let's go outside. Let's do something else." And I know as a child, this was not my job, perhaps to do, but I wish I had the strength then, to tell her that
Say
she was
something.
loved and maybe there's another way that we could handle it somehow.
So basically, it was like a taboo topic. You felt as a child something is going wrong, something is secret, something is not so 100% normal, but you tried to normalize it in your brain and were afraid to ask, and you just, yeah, make it like a taboo topic, like them.
Yeah, exactly. But it was not only coming from me. We grown up in a small enough environment surrounded by our neighbors and a church and a
Yeah.
priest. And we were always, I think everybody was judging everybody, right? So you try to live well enough that nobody will gossip about something, nobody will say something. So I remember when ambulance came to pick up my mom, I was told, please tell them, or if somebody asks that, I don't know, the ambulance came and the guys had a business with your dad or something, it was not like truth. Hey, we have a family issue. Let's support each other. Let's maybe
Yeah.
look at it as a community. Maybe now, of course, these topics are dealt with differently, not
Mm,
back then. And but that came also from my upbringing, don't say, don't share. And till now, now I speak about these things. And one of my professors contacted me recently and said, I'm sorry, Katarina, I did not have a clue. And I said, nobody did, because I've been conditioned, I've been told not to share those things. It
yeah.
would bring shame
Mm.
on me, on my family, on the larger family. So mhm.
And now, with openness, you are sharing your feelings, you are sharing your story, how it feels like right now to feel it, to share it. Do you still feel ashamed? Or how you transform this feeling of being ashamed to the feeling of, okay, now I'm sharing it. Now I'm in the Out of Comfort Zone podcast with Denise. It will be published in YouTube, on Spotify, but now I'm sharing it. So this is a massive transformation as well, not just physical, psychological transformation from having those taboos, living with this pressure, anxiety, suppression of emotions, till coming now to my podcast. And it's just not my podcast. You started to speak about that in women initiatives, in your own retreats. So it's a massive transformation. How you feel to share it right now?
Thank you. It's a really, really great question. And the answer to that will be really learning to listen to those little voices within me. And even the closest friends and even my husband, we are together almost 11 years now, did not know many of those things. And this is not that I did not want to share. I just felt like there is no worth in sharing that.
Hmm.
Everybody has a traumatic experience, everybody has a background. And I thought my story is not worth to share until I realized and I started to find the strength, voicing, first of all, that yes, I have a problem with alcohol. I'm an alcoholic too. And second, once I started to share the story first to people I did not know, like you said, on few retreats and so on. And the women started to come to me behind the closed door and tell me, oh my goodness, thank you so much for sharing this. I have a problem too. Or my sister has a problem too. My mom is an alcoholic.
Hmm.
Can I bring my husband to your session? Can you talk about your story? And I started to say, hold on, does my story has a meaning?
Mm.
Step by step, I started to realize that by helping others, helping, I'm helping myself to
Mm.
heal.
You're
So
healing yourself the more you share and
yeah,
resonate with other people. Yeah.
that's right. More people
Mm.
wanted to know more. More people wanted to hear what I had to say. Um, I realized there was a strength
Yeah.
behind these words, and people start now looking to hear that and refer to, hey, please go to Katarina, listen to her story if you have a problem. And it was not, yeah, it took a step by step, a lot of realization, a lot of self-reflection. Um, and I would like to point out, in all due respect, there is no blame on my parents at all. I think they did their best. I take my mom as a survivor.
Mm.
They did what they could. I have no hard feelings, quite the opposite. When I go back home, I go to help. I don't go as a daughter, I go as a woman. My father passed away some years ago. My mom is still alive, still, unfortunately, in alcoholic addiction. And I feel I go there not to judge, not at all. I go there to help and support. So that's a big difference,
Mm.
also in my life now.
That is also a big shift in your life, but in your mind as well, because most of the time we have expectations as a child, as a daughter, to our parents, like the mom should be strong, the mom should be like this and that. So you have all the time expectations, and when the expectations are not met, you are getting frustrated, and your inner child gets activated. You feel triggered. But in your story, what I hear now, that you also started to heal your inner child and say to your inner child, okay, everything is okay. I have my life under control now. I'm adult. I'm a mom. So now I have the control of my life. And now I even can go to my own house, childhood house, see my mom, but without judgment, without emotional triggering, just with more in my adulthood power and support her. So this is also another way of transformation.
It truly is, Denise, because I try to go to visit my mom once, twice a year. And when I went there as a daughter, I was so hurt. I was, Mom, let's do this. Let's get you this help. And I needed to start it to respect that my mom also had choices in her life.
Mm.
Alcoholism or any addiction, it is an outcome of maybe years of trauma. We seeing addictions, whether it's substance addicts, um, alcohol addictions, it can be, I don't know, addictions to any other substances, unhealthy relationships, shopping, all the other things, social media. By now we
Mm.
see just the outcome. Hey, okay, this is like weakness of mine. You can stop it. You can start something else, go for a run, go for a massage. This is not like this. What we often don't understand, that to get to this point, it is a long way of not dealing with experiences, perhaps a lot of suppressing traumas, issues, and then you use a substance, whatever it may be, and you feel like that part of you is finally maybe calmer or more numb or more settled. And next day you go like, oh, I want to feel like this again. You don't want to deal with this. Maybe you don't want to deal with what comes tomorrow.
Mm.
But addiction is an outcome of traumatic experiences. And
Yeah.
going to my mom as a daughter, it was not possible. I was very angry. I was very upset because I wanted my mom. I wanted to help and I wanted to make everything better.
Mm.
You're right. I needed to heal somewhere my inner child. And now I go home as a woman, as somewhere equal, as a woman who has her own family, has her own daughter. And
Yeah.
I can look at my mom as a survivor and still say thank you. And I go there to help and care, but not to judge. And it's
Yeah.
very Sometimes difficult to hear all the people around saying, well, you can just stop. You can just stop. It takes so much more than just stopping something.
And there's also the topic of resistance, right? I'm also wrote about this topic in my last blog post on my website. If you want to feel pain, the best formula to feel pain is always resist what's coming. Resist the truth, fighting against the truth. But when you start to acceptance, then suddenly you stop judging, you stop feeling pain, you just accept what it is, and you stop resisting. So you stop pushing energy hard on it. You just deal with it. And this is a great example. So you now not resisting to your mom and not resisting with your thoughts, like, oh, why my mom is like that, why she is still like that, why she is not more stronger, why she didn't heal, but I healed, but she didn't, you know. So you stop this judgment in your brain, you stop this resistance in your behavior, you just go there without judgment in a more open space. You say, as an adult, as a woman, not as a daughter, as a small child anymore. And you even can give something. You accept how she is. You don't resist. You don't fight with her anymore. And you try your best, but without trying to change everything while you are there, right?
I think the very good word for it will be also compassion,
Mm-hmm.
Denise. Um, Accepting things as they are, understanding that people also made their choices,
Yeah.
and going with the compassion and with love, not to judge, not to change, but see the situation as it is and help out.
Yeah.
And in my surrounding back at home, there is so much problem with alcohol, and it's by now very interesting for me to see when I was part of that, let's say, problem, I was also somewhere more accepted,
Mm.
where now I don't fit in this, but I come with a different light. And it's very interesting that people come to me now and speak to me openly about their alcohol problems,
Yeah.
where before nobody has a problem. I can stop anytime. This is just few beers a day out of
Yeah.
thirst. Now people come to me and ask me, do you think I have a problem? And I was like, well, try it. Can you go one day? Can you go 1 week? Can you just stop it for a month?
Yeah.
Tell me. You
This
don't
is
you have a problem until you really try to stop. And this is what I'm trying to talk about.
yeah. And
So
maybe accept that
yes,
even the thought, like, oh, maybe I have a problem and maybe I need to speak about that. Maybe I need to open up a little bit myself and speak with trusted people like you, right? And this is the power of sharing. Many people think, as you also said, oh, I need to pretend to be strong and happy. We all have a mask, especially also in the business world, right? But also in the real leadership, authentic leadership, the more you share your vulnerability, the more also employees, colleagues, they open up, they feel, oh, okay, you are also a human being as they are. You have also struggles as they have. And then you are having a different connection of humanity, and you can support each other on a real basis, on a not just on a superficial basis. And I had this experience as well when I wrote my book, Out of Comfort Zone. The first time maybe I spoke there about my pain, about how my parents get divorced, how difficult for me it was from moving from Germany to Turkey, culture shock, family traumatas. And also years and years, I didn't want to share it because I wanted always pretend strong and everything's okay. But the more I opened up, the more people also came and resonated and say, oh, yeah, my parents also get divorced. And I had also a culture shock. And yeah, so the more you open up, the more you open the world of humanity and more stronger, deeper kind of relationships and conversations. And as you said, you don't just heal others with your story, you heal yourself more and more, because suddenly you recognize you are not alone. You're so many times we feel alone in our situations, right? And it doesn't matter what kind of situation. For example, now I'm pregnant. I feel alone with my pregnancy symptoms, stress. But the more I share it, the more I suddenly see other moms, other pregnant women, they say, oh, you know what? I struggle with the same topic. So the more you share, whatever you share, leadership issues, entrepreneurship issues, addiction issues, the more you find solutions and you feel you are not alone in this universe. So many people struggle with the same. And so many people, as you, can transform this fear, this pain into the self-mastery. And when I come then to the self-mastery part, why I wanted you have, especially in this out of comfort zone podcast, is yes, you had this traumatas, you had this pain, but you find a way to transform it. You find tools to self-mastery yourself. And maybe you want like to share how you came to those tools, because so many people maybe also, I'm also coaching many CEOs, leaders. They sometimes say, I don't know what my passion is. I don't know what my purpose is. I'm working hard. They are so successful on the peak, but they feel like a little bit emptiness. And sometimes we moms and moms to work on their real passion, on their real purpose. It's not easy to find the tools which serves you, right? And you found the tool that brought us together, ice swimming. Not ice swimming, like said, ice cold water. So you are doing more ice bath, I do more swimming, but that brought us together 2 years ago, the ice bath experience. And this is a massive tool. How you came to this tool, and then you expanded the tools more and more, like with cacao ceremony, breathwork. And this is an amazing self-mastery story. So maybe you can share it as well, because most of the time people hear my stories, they hear the extreme stories like, breaking the world record in Nepal and ice swimming here and there in world championship. But you don't have to do ice swimming. You don't have to go to the extreme. You can have an ice bath in your balcony, in your garden, and you can transform you massively. And I think Katarina's story now should inspire many people, even though if you are not an athlete, even though if you are not a swimmer or want to compete. So the power of ice water is insane. And this is a proof also with you, how you transformed your life and your thoughts.
Yes, wonderful, wonderful sentences, Denise. Thank you. I think acceptance and realization was the biggest part.
Mm.
I knew that I knew somewhere inside, I knew I had a problem with alcohol, but it was easier to say I don't than I do. And I was curious and I downloaded an app, right? A dry apps where you're going to um, write down how many drinks you had every day when you didn't drink. And I was like, surely I don't have a problem, right? I'm just like here and there. And I went on 4 months using that app without having a day without a drink. And there was the proof. There
Mm.
proof, black on white. Okay, girl, you have a problem. This is now black and white. And I could not believe it because in my head it was like, yeah, but it was like a glass of wine at
It's
lunchtime.
just a glass of wine. Yeah.
It's just like, yeah. But it was the more, lunch and then it was dinner. And yeah, then it was like, "Ah, let's finish the bottle. Let's open another one." I did not realize truly. I mean, now when I look back, this voice inside going like, okay, maybe it's not good for you and so on. And again, coming back to my daughter mirroring me, but finally I had a proof, like, hey, there is an issue. And that was so hard to accept, so hard to say.
And it took you 4 or 5 months, right? With the app, even.
The app was 4 months,
Yeah.
but that process was maybe 3 years of this thought.
Wow.
Am I not? But no, I'm not. And then I sometimes spoke even to my friends and I said, I think I have an issue. And they're like, no, I know somebody who drinks way much more. You're fine. And I was like, yeah, but maybe it's okay for them to drink more, but maybe for me,
Mm.
it's already too much with my history. And now, apart from my pregnancy, I was drinking since, I don't know, I was 13 years old. And there was a proof. I did not need anything more. 4 months of having no day without drinking. I was like, okay. So very blessed to know a wonderful therapist close to Zurich. Then she helped so many of my friends and acquaintances and my clients. She works with healing energies, and I went for alcohol therapy, not only to her, but to some other therapists. And I needed to tackle this as much as fast as possible, because once I realized, okay, that's the deal, then I was like, okay, there is no more time to waste. I don't want to deal with that, because the issue is not the issue. Somewhere the blessing is, Denise, that I know where it can lead. I grown up with this. I seen so much hurt, so much trauma, so many tears, so many terrible things, and I know where it leads to. So I did not need any more
Proof.
approval by anybody else telling me, girl, you need a help. No.
Yeah.
I knew, okay, this is enough. I need a help. So it was I believe 3rd of October 2022, where I had my last the first day without drinking. And I can tell you, it was so scary. I thought my family will not like me, my friends will not like me, I will not be fun anymore, I will lose my identity. I could tell you 100 reasons why giving up drinking was not a good idea. How can I go for a dinner? How can I go for dancing? How can I invite people in my house? How can I go out for lunch with my friend without a glass of champagne? I was like, what is life going to be about? And one of my therapists told me, tell me few things how your life will be better after you stop drinking. I could not find one. I was like,
Wow.
life will be better. And you can see this transformation now. Back then, I could tell you, I could not find one point when I would say my life will be better without alcohol. It was so hard because I was so scared that I will lose my funny person within me, that I will lose friends. And truly, I did. I lost people.
You lost many people, and now I see you gain and gain and gain
I
certain
lost
network and
people.
many people.
I still have a message from a friend who was, well, back then I thought she was a friend, and she also came from my wedding.
Yeah.
She wrote to me, once you are back on bubbles, give me a call. And that was the last
Wow.
message I got from her. So many people disappeared, of course, because our relationship was based on alcohol and going out. With family members, I am invisible for many, but I must say it's so much easier once I cut it off completely, because I think a lot of relationships, a lot of issues just came out more with alcohol, right? So we had more fights and more unresolved things, where now I can really look from a different point. And yeah, I think the first month was very, very scary. I thought like kind of my life is over. Okay.
Yeah, because your body wanted this and needs to deal with that. And as you said, suddenly your family members, even your friends with whom you maybe did everyday partying or drinking and speaking, suddenly they say, oh, call me when you are ready for the next bubble. So this is also hurting, right? Because then it's part of your identity. You think, oh, am I not valuable anymore? Did they like me just because of alcohol? Then suddenly new problems arises, not just the alcohol problem, but networking, friendship. You starting questioning everything suddenly. Your relationships, the quality of your relationships.
Exactly. Absolutely. And it became very obvious that a lot of people, suddenly we had nothing to talk about,
Oh,
because
wow.
once you had a few drinks, right? You talk about fun stuff and things come up and you laugh differently. And suddenly I was like, okay, what else is there? And yeah, so people disappeared and new people came in, supporting network as well. And coming to our point of ice bathing, that was somewhere in my radar a little bit. But I thought while I was drinking, my body was definitely not strong enough to handle it.
No, alcohol is the most negative thing for ice bathing. Even
Yeah.
I recognize when I started with ice water trainings, even when I drank just one red wine one night before, my body was so weak and so sensitive to cold. So you need to really strong mentally and body wise, eating strong and going strong into the water, because the water is not lying to you, right? It's like a complete 100% mirror. You go into the water and it shows you all your struggles, all your limiting beliefs, all your trigger points, all your weaknesses in your body, in your cells. So it's insane. Yeah.
That's right. So while I heard about it a little bit, but my immediate reaction was like, I cannot handle it. Back then, I felt truly my body was constantly fighting alcohol, right? So I was not even, I felt releasing other toxins, but it was constantly dealing with alcohol, with the sugar processing, and all these things. So I felt within the first month since I stopped drinking, I also drank some supplementary things to cleanse my body. I started to feel such incredible energy within me,
Mm.
which I did not feel ever, ever. And
Wow. Mm.
burnout, depression, all these things. And I felt like, whoa, what's just happening? I have so much strength. And I felt like, honestly, like I need to go and chop the trees or something, but I felt strength.
Yeah.
And suddenly something popped at me. I think it was on a Facebook ad, and it was ice bathing in Zurich session.
Mm.
And I didn't think much. I booked it, and then I got scared, thinking like, "Oh my goodness, that's it's only what crazy people do, and you need to be superhero to do that." Clearly, I was like, "Okay, but let's go with the flow." And there I came. Now I need to think of the date. Was it 6th of November 2000? So around 1 month since I stopped drinking. And I was so scared. And I remember coming for this session, meeting Matthew, back then my coach. And I told him, I'm so happy I'm here, but please do not expect me to go in. And he just told me simply, don't think, Katerina.
Just do.
Just do. And I thought, what do you mean not think? My brain is going 120% constantly. I go crazy. I cannot sit. I cannot go to yoga. I cannot walk in the mountains because my brain is constantly, I wake up through the night thinking. Okay. And he was like, just try, just be guided. And I'm like, okay.
And that's the best thing of ice bathing, because you're in a natural meditation mode. You can't think about anything.
Yeah, I was coming to this point where finally came the time, and I thought like he asked who wants to go in first, and I was like, okay, now or never, I'm going in first.
Amazing.
The water was 3 degrees. It was still a bucket in November, so cold. Um, and I thought, I don't think so. But you know what? Let's give it a try. And I went in. I felt like I was screaming on the outside, but I wasn't. I was just breathing heavily. And I think I stayed in maybe 45 seconds. I still have the video somewhere. And I came out. And now I would like you, Denise, to think of that first ice experience. I know you did not like cold as well. And I remember coming out of this water and bam, I was thinking, how is this possible? My brain is not thinking. I had nothing in my head.
Yeah.
It was for the first time ever. I
Oh,
felt that that's just like what just happened. I mean, of course, the beautiful body feeling, right? Of
yeah.
tingling and sensations. And I was so proud of myself. I was like, please, somebody give me a medal because I feel
Yeah,
like
you are so proud of yourself.
yeah, and
I
everybody
remember
was
the first
clapping.
time.
Yeah, and cheering me on. But the mental clarity,
Yeah.
this was something that was, I tried so many things. I
Yeah.
could not find, and I found that was the thing. And afterwards, like another 10 people went in and they had a great experience. And Matthew asked, who wants to go in again? And for me, no brainer. I was like, I need to feel this again.
Yeah.
When I came home in the evening, I went immediately to my husband. I was like, please, 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 I found something that I did not expect to find. Please support me. And my husband was coming with me every day to the lake, him. not even trying to go to the water, just watch me because I was so scared going to the
Yeah.
lake alone in winter. Again, it was November coming to December. I don't know. I never stuck with the gym. I barely read a book to a finish. But the ice bathing, what it gave me afterwards, this clear of the mind was for me undescribable. And every day, don't think, just go. I had my swimming costume ready, rain, snow, minus temperature. I did not think. I put that swim costume on and I marched to that lake
Mm.
and I had a plunge. It was
Amazing.
cannot believe it. I mean, I started with the day 1, 2, 3, then it was 10, then it was 1 month. And the changes were unbelievable to my psychic, to how I perceive the world, to my happiness. And of course, later on, I started to learn what it does to my body and everything. But for me, the catch was the mental health.
And this is the power of ice cold water, right? I also remember the first time when I was in, I felt my body gets numb. I can't feel my fingers and hands anymore and lose control. But at the same time, this clarity, this moment of just be in the moment, stop overthinking and feeling, it gave me so much that, yeah, my life also completely transformed and changed after this. So I get much more courage, less fear, more resilience. It helped me in the business life, in my consulting life, in my sports life. And as you say, it helped you to get rid of alcohol, rid of addiction, and then to self mastery. And what do you think? Who listens us, maybe they don't think ice bath is the best thing, but many people are so stuck in their own patterns. What they can learn about this to have more courage to go out of the comfort zone, break the patterns, and embrace themselves in a different kind of way.
I am not here to give advice. I can only share my experience. And I was a very anxious person,
Mm.
and I felt the anxieties were only growing. And the anxieties were getting bigger while my daughter was growing up. And I was telling her, stop being scared of that spider. It's only a spider. And stop being scared of this. And I was thinking, yeah, but myself, I'm scared of so many things. And surely, Denise, I had a fear of cold. I mean, you met me as an ice bather, but before I had 3 jackets and 2 pairs of socks and a gloves. I mean, just going outside in winter, I was like an Eskimo going, and then I would start moving and then I had to peel all the layers off. So cold was my fear. Heights, driving the car through the city, silly with all the trams. Not talking about all the creepy crawlies around. Speed.
Mm.
I mean, speed on a bicycle, speed skiing. And I started to feel the fears were not becoming smaller on their own. They were only
Mm.
growing bigger. And I was thinking, how can I teach my daughter to overcome her fears when I am not fighting mine, right? Whether it's ice water, whether it's um, let's say climbing, when you have a fear of heights, the fear is there to teach you something. That's the path. This is the out of comfort zone. This is the place where you're going to grow. What
Yeah.
the ice water gave me was immense power, knowing, number one, whatever comes to me through my day, I was already sitting in 2, 3 degrees water. Try me on. Okay, that was number one. And number two, that if I can overcome that fear, I can overcome perhaps many different fears. So going further with fear of heights, I thought I'm going to join a climbing gym. And I can tell you, my first climb was 2 meters and I was coming down in tears. And now I'm able to pretty decently climb very good mountains.
Yeah.
um, Sharing my story, speaking up,
Yeah.
singing. I took a singing lesson, and I can tell you, I thought it would be most embarrassing thing. And now I'm holding spaces and communities, and we sing together, and I'm leading it. This would be like 2 years ago, 3 years ago, will be in many, like I could not imagine these things.
Yeah.
So now it's very interesting how I see it because I'll go, okay, I fear this, then I want to do it. And my recent one, actually, last night, I returned from a hike where I only let my husband know that I'm okay. I was maps in my head, 3 days off grid without my phone, without my watch, no counting steps, no counting
And these
kilometers.
are all addictions, right? So
Yeah,
we spoke
but
about
it's
alcohol
nice.
addiction, but
Yeah.
normal people, like business people, maybe listening also, maybe you're not addicted to alcohol, but maybe you're addicted to social media. Maybe you're addicted to success. Maybe you're addicted to your KPIs, to your apps with numbers and facts and whatever. Maybe you're addicted to something else. It's all addiction, and how you can break free from your addiction and use these new patterns to be a better version of yourself, like your story, right? You had also so many fears like me, and you changed those fears, so you used it as your compass, and you transform your fear into your strengths, and not just into your strength. The next level also of success is not just being successful, but also making other people successful, or not just healing yourself, also support the healing of other people. And this is the next level of leadership as well, right? So you are just not leading yourself, you are starting leading others. And in business, you are starting, when you upgrade yourself, you're not just starting leading others, you're starting leading organizations. You are starting to live your legacy. And this is the growth zone, right? Where you face the fear, use it as a compass. And I think your story can be and is so powerful. I hope all the listeners get something from themselves, because it's a real story. It's coming from pain, it's coming from traumata. It's not coming from, oh, look how great I am and how successful I am. But now, when you see Katarina, how she is successful, embracing her own power, her own peace, and not just her own energy, but also shining the light to other people. So this is the massive, real transformation. And I'm so happy to see that, to see the transformation day by day. It's amazing. And I hope that all listeners can relate on those stories and feel inspired, and think about your own comfort, out of comfort zone. Think about your own, what kind of patterns you can break, what kind of limiting beliefs you can break to heal, to embrace yourself, to get to the next level. And the next level isn't always about hierarchy levels, isn't about money levels, status, money, power. It starts within us, right? The power starts within us. So what is your next level of your inner power? Oh, it was a so deep and nice conversation. Thank you so much, Katarina. Do you have anything you want to add before we close the podcast today?
Yes, actually, I would love to finish with 1, 2 sentences about that addiction comes in many different shapes and forms. It is not about amount, but it's about what provides it to you. What does it numb? What does it suppress? So, this is my invitation to you. If there is that little voice inside you saying, maybe that's not right, try to listen, try to give up something, try to give up caffeine, watching TV, social media for a time, sugar, alcohol. Um, yes, try to give it up. Try to give it up and see truly then if there is something that you need to heal instead of suppress and numb. So this is my invitation for you. Try it. I would love to hear as well. How is it going? And yes, all the blessings. And thank you so much for listening.
Thank you so much for listening. And I hope this podcast also reminds you to, the more you can let go things, the more you feel your inner freedom, the more you feel your inner power, that you are not addicted to those. You are more than your fears. You are more than your traumata. You can change your life anytime, whatever you do, in what kind of age you are. Katarina, your example, your role modeling was a great story. Thank you so much. And to all listeners, have a beautiful day, beautiful week. And let's think about this one question: what you can change today to be a better version of yourself tomorrow.
If you'd like to learn more about how we can help transform your life and live to your fullest potential in your personal or professional life, we invite you to visit our website at outofourcomfortzone.com. By the way, if you enjoyed listening to the show, please subscribe and rate it. Thank you.